In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the Replicator software to turn your STL file that you've exported into an X3G file that the 3D printer can actually read. So, we're going to go to the Start menu, and if Replicator doesn't show up in your initial menu, you can search down here, just type in the first few letters of Replicator, and it'll show up. So the program opened up and it defaults to whatever the last part was that printed. So I need to open my part. So in this case, I'm going to go to File, Open. It was called Andrew's Lightsaber. And so there is the part. I'll zoom out a little bit. And you can see, well, this part it's not really on the bed at all. So we have to do some modifying. So first, I'm going to use the Move button right here, and I can do a few things. I can center it and put it on the platform. Now, as you can see here, it's not fitting on the print bed, so I need to rotate it. So I believe it's Z-axis. Yep, in this case, I've rotated it. Now, my print is actually still too big. It's outside the envelope. For you guys, you're going to have to redesign the part into smaller parts that'll fit together. For me, I don't really care so much. This is a toy, so I'm actually going to scale it down. I'm going to make it smaller. So I'll select Scale, and let's say I want to scale it down to 50%. I would just type in 0.5, and now I've scaled it down, and now I would be able to print this. You also want to orient it in the best orientation so that you can print without failure. So in this case, I actually want to rotate it back vertically. So it won't have to make a bunch of support material. You can see these edges are round, and it would have to print a bunch of support material there that's going to be just a pain in the butt to take off. So again, I'm going to go back to rotate, and I don't know which axis that is. Maybe, there we go, this way. Now you can see it's below the platform, so I need to move it again. I'll put it on platform and center it, and now it looks like I have it just the way I need it, and I'm ready to set this up for printing, or model to G-code, in other words. So the first thing that I'm going to do is this button here that says G, and to the right you'll see it'll say model to G-code. So I'll click that. Save changes? Yeah, sure. Okay, here are the parameters that you need to set for the software. First, you need to make sure you're on Replicator 2 slicing defaults. We're only using the right extruder right now. We were having issues with the dual extruders. The left extruder would drag and crash into your print, so we're only going to be using the right extruder. Left extruder is not there. I physically removed the left extruder. You need to use rafts and supports. So it depends on what you're printing, but for us, we're going to use that. Same thing, full support is fine. All these are fine. Here are the parameters that you need to set. So object infill. For most of the stuff we're doing, 10% is fine. If you need a more durable part, you could increase that. It's just going to take up a lot more plastic, and it's going to take more time. Layer height 0.2 is perfect for us. Feed rate, travel feed rate, and print temperature of 220 degrees. That is the temperature we're going to be using. We're using exclusively PLA plastic versus ABS. PLA is a plant-based plastic. It's better for the environment, and it uses a cooler temperature than ABS plastic. So we will exclusively use PLA plastic. So there's two settings we need to do. One is here. So I'm going to hit Generate G-code, and it's going to go through this routine. And for a big part like this might take a half an hour or something like that. So I'm going to pause the video, and I'll come back when I have probably another part up here. Okay, so rather than wait for that part, I just loaded up a new part, a different part that I've already done. So this is what it's going to look like after you've run that whole routine. So in addition to this button being illuminated, this button is also now illuminated. There's one thing you must do before you, this will build it so you can use it to a card, and this doesn't take too long. But the next thing that you have to do, there's two tabs here, the model, which is like the picture, and then the G-code, which is actually the software. You can see here, this is like really long. It's all the software that's going to be sent to the 3D printer so it knows what to do. One thing you have to modify in the software is this M109, and it'll always be the, 10th line down or so. What this is telling the printer to do is to set the bed temperature to 110 degrees. We don't want that. That's too hot for PLA. We have to set that to 50. And the way we do that is just simply, highlight the 1, change it to 5, and now it'll set that bed temperature to 50. If you accidentally keep it at 110, the bed of the printer will be too hot and your part will kind of melt as it's printing and you'll get a real crappy print. So make sure that you convert this to 50 degrees C. Again, it'll say like HPB temperature bed. I don't know what this stands for, but anyway, it's the bed, the platform. So we need that at 50 degrees. Once you get that, you've done that, you can then hit Build to File for use with SD card. So I'm going to click on that button, and I have an SD card, and I'm going to plug that into my computer. On the laptops that we use, it's in the front of the laptop all the way to the left. So I'm going to go to, you can see it just popped up that it recognized it. I'm going to go to my computer, and it's the F drive. So I'm going to double click that. You can see I have a bunch of parts there already, and I'm going to name this part test part, something like that. Whatever you name yours is fine. It doesn't matter. Probably your name would be ideal. And I'm going to hit save, and then it'll go through a little routine up here, but this doesn't take nearly as long as the slicing. So once this is done, you can then go down here and eject your SD card and then take it over to the printer, and we'll have another video to help you with that. So let's see if this will work. It might not let me do it if Replicator is still open. We can try. No, it does. So it's okay. So now I can take my SD card, I can take it over to the printer, and I'll walk you through that in a later video. Thanks.